Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Bradley Eaton of St. Edward Football. How's it going?
Good and yourself?
I'm doing well. So just kind of pretty good pretty good year going so far. Third week of the playoffs. Just talk about how exciting that is to be on once again on the run that you guys have been on.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome every year. At St. Ed's we're not in a conference, so a lot of high school teams, are competing for conference titles, but at St. Ed's we're competing for state titles. So yeah, I mean as a little kid I would have never thought I would be able to be a part of these teams and compete for state titles in football. So it's been amazing and I'm happy to, be on this very successful team. So
Yeah. So what position so for people that don't know, what position do you play?
so last year I played all 16 games at safety. And then the first half of this year, I played safety, and I just recently moved to corner the last 3 or 4 games. So I've been playing corner.
Okay. So what was that like to kind of move positions like that? Because is there much of a difference in moving there?
I'd say I always knew what the corner was doing because that's a part of being a safety is knowing where your help is and knowing what the corner's doing. So it wasn't hard for me to learn, but it was just different because the angles of tackling and I was like it's just a lot different than safety. I mean, you're sealing the edge and you have to come at a different angle where, safety you're kind of coming downhill making tackles. So I mean that took me, a little bit to get used to, but I mean, I covered guys a lot at safety, so it really wasn't that big of a deal for me.
Yeah. I know you didn't play football all throughout high school. You actually joined like kind of like you have an interesting story into football. Kind of talk about that.
So I did play football growing up a lot, but I had some injuries early off and kind of went the soccer route. And so my freshman year, I started on the St. Ed soccer team as a freshman, the varsity, and I led the team in goals with soccer. And my biology teacher was the defensive coordinator for the football team, Coach Pappas. So I had, talking to him all the time about football. And I realized, my freshman year, how much I missed football. And I knew that I had to, come back and play it. So I came out then my sophomore year and decided that I was going to play football after, talking to Coach Pappas a lot, who was my teacher. And yeah, and then, I ended up starting and here I am, year two. But started the last 20, 28 games for St. Ed's, so still going.
Yeah. Do you, just this journey that you're on, can you just just all the success that you've had in your careers, can you just like you just have to pinch yourself and say, wow.
Um, yeah, so I will say, like I already said, last year, like leading up to the state championship game, like the week of, I like kind of stopped and I was like, I'm actually playing in this football game for a state title. Like that, it was kind of hard to wrap my head around. And it was amazing to win, but right after football season, it rolls right into wrestling season. So I have like a very short window to actually enjoy the state championship with football because I go right into wrestling and I got to start focus on winning the state title in wrestling too. So yeah, there's times I kind of sit back and am happy with my accomplishments, but and the team's accomplishments, but I do think there's always room for improvement.
Yeah. Okay, so what were some things that you had to really what were some of the things that you focused on this summer to just what were some of the things that you were really looking at and say, okay, this is what I want to really get better in?
Yeah, so my press coverage, I needed to improve on that. Uh, I am a big believer and you got to be able to play more than one position on a defense, even if it's, not your primary position, because guys go down in games all the time. And when the coach looks around and says, "Hey, who knows this position?" I always challenge myself to say, "Me, yeah, I don't play there, but I can play it for the team if the team needs me to." So I knew I needed to work on press coverage. Like I said, I played safety my sophomore year. You don't do a lot of press coverage there, so I worked a lot this summer on press coverage, and it paid off because I ended up moving to corner. So use it, every game.
Yeah. So with this week's game, just kind of for people that might not know, just kind of, you know, preview this upcoming week.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. McKinley just came off a close win against Ignatius, which, Ignatius is our rivals. So, uh, yeah, they got athletes. They do. They got, I think when they go empty, they have four guys on their offense, they can throw the ball to that are all going Division 1. So we definitely got our hands full. Just we're getting ready for them though. So yeah.
Okay. Um, so what are so okay. All right, here's something. Name three things that you want to get better at by the time the season ends.
Time the season ends. So, hmm. I'd say I'm comfortable with pressing, but like I said, just move to corner. Uh, Press bail man, it's called. So it's when you press up and you're bailing out because you're giving the receiver a cushion. So you're kind of playing the posts and the fades with this
Yeah.
technique. And I struggle with it because I don't like a receiver to catch anything on me. Like when I'm guarding a dude, it drives me crazy if someone will catch like out or something. So that coverage or style of coverage is designed so like, yeah, you give them like the hitch or the out, but you're cushioning the deep route. So I need to work on that. Just being like, okay, it's okay to give up the 5 yards here. Just don't give up the deep shot. So I definitely need to work on that. I'd say trying to think. I mean, I wouldn't say I need to like study the defense more because I do know what I'm doing a lot because, like I said, I've been starting 2 years now, so I've dealt with all these coverages for 2 years. Kind of know them like the back of my hand. I'd say probably recognizing plays more. I want to be able to recognize what the offense is running. I do study a lot of film every week, but it is nice to know and feel like, hey, this receiver's lined up here. I know what he's running. I know what to do, and I'd say probably just keep him contained more. I mean, I'd like to think I do a decent job at it, but just keeping the forcing all the guys back in. I guess I could work on. So,
How do you mentally prepare for a game?
yeah, that's a good one. So the thing about St. Ed's is we go against the best guys in the country. Our schedule was rated one of the, I think, like top 5 schedules in the country. So my mentality walking into the game is I've none of these guys that I'm about to play against are anything different or better than I've been playing against all year. So like we go against these highly recruited receivers. So then when I go into this game this week, I've already played against really good receivers. I know what to expect. Big running backs, already played against them, fast running backs. So I'm very like calm when it comes to going into games because I've seen it before.
Yeah.
If there's no surprises, I'm confident in my calls. I know the defense. I study the offense. I know what they're going to run, and so I'm confident going into the games that I'm going to be all right because I've seen them before.
Okay. Bradley, let's get to know you a little bit. How about that?
All right. So I
Um,
grew up.
okay. Oh, sorry. Um, what is like, what's the like the who's like a player that you grew up watching? Like, who's your favorite player growing up? I should say.
Well, I'd say my favorite player is probably Troy Polamalu.
Okay.
I'm a big Steelers fan, so I mean, the guy just made plays every time, and I actually wear 43 because of him.
Okay.
So yeah, just as a sophomore, I had a choice between 41, 42, or 43, and I said, all right, I'll take 43 for Troy Polamalu, and I just want to play like him, because he was so athletic and would make these crazy plays and was so fast, yet he would also come up and hit people like a linebacker. So I just wanted, I was playing safety at the time. I tried to base my style of play on him.
Yeah. Best high school football moment so far.
Best moment so far. I will. All right. So this year, St. Ignatius opens up.
we're kicking off. They returned the kickoff. It was 70, I think 75 yards, right? This is our rivalry game, huge game, full stadium, maybe 6, 7, 8,000 people there. Their sideline going crazy, all their fans. First play of the game, quarterback throws a little out and I intercept it. And returned it like 25 yards, but it was my favorite play because their sideline was going crazy. They all went dead silent, and then our sideline just erupted. So it was awesome.
Yeah. And okay, last thing is what's like maybe something people don't like would not guess about you? Like what's an interesting fact that people might not know about you?
So I live an hour and 15 minutes away from St. Ed's, and I drive to school and back every single day.
Dang, that's pretty good. All right. Well, Bradley, thank you so much for taking the time, and we'll talk to you soon, bud.
Sounds good. I appreciate you having me on.